Hi, Navpreet. Nice to see that you've got more essays for us. Let's take a look at this one about traditional foods and fast foods. Let's get into it straight away, okay? Okay, so convenience food throughout the globe has been increasingly taken as an alternative to conventional home-cooked meals. Some believe that this has adverse effects on families, society, and people. Considering the prevalence of life-threatening diseases in society, affected familial bonds and indolence among people due to the ingestion of processed foods, I entirely agree that this transition is detrimental. Okay, on the whole, I like this quite a bit. I have one little concern. Um, I'm not sure how much of a concern it is right now. It's regarding the vocabulary and how natural it is. Um, so let me show you what I mean. Like, for example, the use of the word indolence or even calling this a transition. These are very nice words. They're obviously less common and, would be considered more advanced vocabulary. But I am not 100% convinced that they are the most natural or most appropriate or precise words in this context. So that's my one little concern. And this is something that happens to a lot of IELTS students in their effort to show that they have advanced vocabulary and, know a lot of really advanced words. Sometimes the effect is language and writing that actually comes off as a little unnatural. So this is something I want you to be careful of. I mean, what are you really telling us here? That because of processed foods, people become lazy? I don't know about that. And then I also, like I said, I didn't like the idea of like, I understand what you're doing, that there's like a shift, and I get that. There's a shift from fast food to, I'm sorry, there's a shift from traditional food to fast food. But I don't really know that again, this word transition, it just felt a little strange to me. Okay? But that's my own real comment because everything else is lovely. My point is that yes, look for words that are advanced. Actually, rather than saying that, what I want to suggest to you is looking for words that are precise, that actually fit the context at that given moment in that particular instance, rather than this search for advanced vocabulary that may in fact not be the most appropriate word right there. Okay? That's the message here. All right, next paragraph. To begin with, the consumption of fast food instead of domestic cooking has affected, careful, wrong spelling here, you wanted the A, has affected not only the individuals but also the whole society. This is true because people these days prefer ready-made food rather than spending long hours cooking at home, singular, probably due to the busy lifestyle. Is there just one busy lifestyle? Lifestyle should have been one word, and I would have here put their busy lifestyle. It's not like we all live one busy lifestyle and there's, only one in the world, etc. So it's their busy lifestyle would have been better here. Owing to the time-saving benefits of instant food, people are becoming heavily reliant on such meals, therefore becoming more prone to laziness. Okay, why? Why? I mean, okay, I've got a very busy lifestyle, right? And I'm not spending my time cooking. Presumably, I'm spending my time on my busy lifestyle. So why does fast food lead to laziness? That's unclear to me. And it's not that it's an idea that's not really fully explored. You haven't really convinced me. You haven't really flushed it out or extended it so that I'm left with no questions. I do have a very big question here, and that question is a really big, well, why? Okay? So be careful with this kind of statement. I wouldn't say that it's 100% clear why you're saying this. Furthermore, since consuming fast food is becoming prevalent in society, repercussions of overconsumption of such fatty and fried meals can be witnessed on people's in people's health as there is an increase in lifestyle diseases such as obesity. Again, one word. The consequences of this are exacerbating with the sedentary lifestyle, which is quite common these days. Okay, for instance, recent empirical research by the World Health Organization indicates that junk food ingestion has been more than 80% responsible for the high mortality rate among youngsters due to cardiovascular diseases. Therefore, it is conclusively clear that swapping home food with junk meals is deteriorating for society and people. Okay, so nice on the whole, really good, developed, lovely. Just that one area that we talked about here, and it's really interesting because it's a very it's a rather long paragraph. God, it's got to be at least 100 words, right? Yeah, geez, it's 174 words. So you actually wrote quite a bit. But I'm wondering if sometimes some of it is just writing without really like true development, if that makes sense. I told you that here I felt like the connection wasn't clear to me. And to tell you the truth, I think you could, wait, here we go. I think you could have actually, no, this is the sentence I want to highlight. Give me a second. There. This sentence, I honestly think you could have left it out. I can't really say that it truly adds anything. Instead, I would have preferred, like I said, for you to somehow connect this a little better. This could have been taken out, and then the rest of this was fine. However, I also have a concern with your usage of the term junk food. Fast food and junk food are not 100% synonymous. Fast food is food where we go to I don't want to name any brands necessarily, but when we go to the burger place or the pizza place or the falafel place and we get something really quickly prepared and then we either eat it there very quickly or we, eat it on the street very quickly or home very quickly, but it's all very quick. Junk food can really be anything that is like pre-prepared, whether that's chips and snacks, all of that, and all of these all together count as junk food. Okay, so all of these kind of prepackaged snacks and chips and stuff like that, that's considered junk food. Candies, chocolates, all that stuff is considered junk food. So really, really processed stuff. So fast food is not necessarily the same thing as junk food, vice versa. So careful with using these terms. Then here, again, we have an issue with the vocabulary, not entirely precise here. You said, therefore, it is conclusively clear that swapping home food for fast food is, here a better word I think would have been, and I don't know if you used it, I have to look through this again. Detrimental, there it is. Yeah, you used it already. That would have been a better word. Deteriorating is not so great. Deteriorating means worsening, weakening. That's not the right word here. Okay? So you need to replace it with a more accurate word. Okay. Now, I want to say something before I continue, Navpreet. I think your writing is very, very good, but I understand that you need to achieve a very high level in IELTS. So what we're essentially focusing on, if if it hasn't been clear so far, is really details. We're, working together to make this writing as accurate and as precise as possible, because I see that you do have the skills to do this. Okay, so just remind me again, if you can, in your next email, what score it is that you need, because what I'm doing essentially is focusing on details to help you get as high as possible. Okay, so, but I do want you to know that your writing is really very, very, very good. Okay. Besides injurious effects on society and individuals, okay, I want to read something again. Okay. This transformation is damaging the familial relationships as well. I would have gotten rid of the familiar relationships. That's it. The central reason behind this is the minimum opportunities. the minimum opportunities for get-togethers with family members due to the trend of eating away from home or ordering online food. Previously, when each family member used to participate in the cooking process and eating at the same table, it used to promote closeness among family members. However, the increased reliability on takeout meals nowadays has reduced the occurrence of such family get-togethers. As a consequence, people are becoming more self-involved and less family-oriented. For example, it is common in the USA for teenagers to eat out on a regular basis rather than eat with family. Thus, it is possible to state beyond doubt family relationships are negatively influenced with the avoidance of home food and the acceptance, here you needed the acceptance of ready-made meals. Okay, this paragraph is lovely. It's very nice. I have no comments about it. I thought you did a great job with this. Okay, in conclusion, taking into consideration the ramifications of the lethargy, health complications in today's generation, and faded familial bonds, I completely agree that the change from homemade meals to fast food is harmful. Okay, I want to check one more thing here, and then we'll continue. Okay. So I know we spent quite a bit of time on this paragraph, but I really did want to read it again. I like the way you organized this. You had a lot to say about family, and so you gave it its own paragraph. I thought that was a great idea. And you decided to put society and individuals together. Also, I think that's a great idea. I have one concern with this, though. Where are you talking about society specifically? So you talked a lot about health, right? You talked about people becoming lazy and people becoming obese. And then you said this, no, high mortality. Okay. So what's the connection here? Okay, I'm an individual. I eat fast food. I'm becoming obese. I'm becoming, I subscribe to the sedentary lifestyle and I order fast food every day. Well, what's the effect on society? Do you understand? So this is a problem that affects me personally, but how does it affect society as a whole? And that's a part of this essay that I don't really feel that you touched upon. Yeah, you use the word society, and that's great, but it wasn't totally convincing. So what you could have done here is you could have talked, because I told you I didn't really like this whole thing with laziness. I thought it was kind of weakly developed. You could have talked about obesity and you could have talked about how it affects the individual, but then you could have talked about what this really means to society. So perhaps it's like a strain on our medical system, our health system, okay? Because, obesity exacerbates, it just complicates other illnesses, it causes other illnesses, and so this makes insurance premiums go higher, and it's more taxing on our health system and our hospitals and so forth. So that's how you could have developed this in a way so that you were talking about how a problem that the individual faces is in fact a problem for all of society. It affects all of us if our health system is threatened or overburdened. Okay, so that's another thing that I want to talk about, and I just realized it when I had gotten to this part. So I want to talk about it now before we leave this essay behind us, okay? All right, so that's my feedback about this. Again, I thought a lot of this was really great, a lot of really good vocabulary, a lot of really good grammar, well organized, no doubt. But I want to work on some of these details regarding task achievement, okay? So let's take a look at your task one. Okay, so you're writing to your friend Amy. Let's see what you said. Dear Amy, how are you? I'm penning down this letter to say sorry for not being able to visit you last week while I have been in your city. Okay, a couple of things first of all. Let's see. The first thing is this sentence, I'm penning down this letter. Not terribly natural, again, okay? This is what we talked about before, about natural language, precise language. She's a friend, so I totally agree with your choice to open your letter with "How are you?" Very appropriate for a friendly letter. But something a little more natural would have been better here. So here's my suggestion. Dear Amy, how are you? I wanted to tell you how sorry I was. Or I wanted to tell you how sorry I am for not being able to visit you last week while I was in your city. It has to be was because you've already told us when this happened, last week. So present perfect isn't correct here. It has to be past simple. And then I didn't really love your paragraphing. I don't know why you've got so many paragraphs. I think better would have been this to be connected to the first paragraph. Now, you probably know that paragraphing isn't super, super important in task one unless you're aiming for one of those top 2 band scores. If you're aiming for above a 7, so like an 8 or a 9, then yeah, things like paragraphing are going to make a difference. So keep that in mind. I would not have done this with hitting enter here and then having this one line and then having a new paragraph. I probably would have just put these all together. So, firstly, I would like to let you know that I'm feeling terribly sorry for canceling our plan to meet. Just to let you know that I have been as excited as much as you were looking forward for this meeting. If it was not related to work, I would not have canceled our long-awaited plan. Okay, the last sentence was good, but the first 2 are a little awkward. First of all, I don't know why you have this here when you already just said how sorry you were. So this seems strange to me. It feels a little repetitive. I mean, you just said it in the previous sentence. So I would get rid of this. And then the grammar here was awkward. So let's try this one more time. I want to try it from the beginning and make some changes here. So, dear Amy, how are you? I wanted to let you know how sorry I was for not being able to visit you last week while I was in your city. Please know that I was just as excited as you were for this meeting. Please know that I was just as excited as you were and really looking forward to this meeting. You could have done that as well. If it was not related to work, I would not have canceled our long-awaited plans. Good, I'm glad you did this grammar here. Actually, what happened was that my supervisor had to leave for a family emergency due to some critical work at the office and absence of other resources. I could not reject his request to fill his place for a couple of days. This is the reason why I had to cut my holiday short and return to work. To make it up to you, can I suggest some other time to have this get together? I have a long weekend coming up next week. If you are also free, then we can plan a vacation together to some place of your choice, or we can even spend this weekend at my place watching movies and playing games. Please do let me know what you think about it. I look forward to seeing you soon. Lots of love, Nav. Okay, that's fine. So just a couple of those areas were a little awkward, but the rest of it was fine. So a good job overall, okay? All right, Nav, so take the set, make the corrections you need to make. Let's see more work from you, and I will be waiting for that. So good luck.